We are here again. Welcome to a brand new episode of The Rundown with Ramon. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com, and we have an eclectic potpourri dish of insight for you today on The Rundown with Ramon. All we ask is for a bit of your time, 30 minutes or less, to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. I promise you two things. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fast. It's going to be informative. That's not two things. That's three things. So welcome to The Rundown with Ramon, a brand spanking new day today. We got some hot topics we're going to go over. Sadly, we're going to talk about how one man lost almost $1 million to scammers targeting his retirement savings. We got our insight from Seth Godin, where he talks about non-professional writers. Why the reliable office workhorse rarely gets ahead. If that's you, you'll want to take note and listen. The joy of being average, what it's like to be average, and the joy. This is interesting. The addiction economy. Talking about this from our friends at every.to. Jason Pfeiffer, executive editor, Entrepreneur Media. And if you know Jason Pfeiffer, tag him, especially on LinkedIn, where he's very active. Jason Pfeiffer. I'm taking something from his playbook where he talks about how to ask for what you really want. A phrase to defeat nosy questions. This is interesting. From Lenny, time management techniques that actually work. The summer is so hot, workers are wearing high-tech ice packs, and we'll get into more if we have time. But in the meantime, thank you for being here today on The Rundown with Ramon. Glad you're here. Check me out at RamonRay.com. Check me out at zoneofgenius.com. And let's see how we can help you today, right now, start or grow your business, or just simply live your best life. Let's begin The Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Sad story. How one man lost $740,000 to scammers targeting his retirement savings. I'm not going to even go through this article right now. First, I'm just going to riff right at the top of the dome. Scammers are out there. Bad people are out there. Evil people are out there. Sometimes specifically targeting you. Other times, and most of it's that way, they just send stuff out there and see who will click. Whoever clicks, then bring them more and more into the scam to steal their money. There were the thieves who robbed stagecoaches back in the day. They're the hoodlums and gangsters and gangbangers and little ornery kids who pop you in the back of the head and steal from you on the street, and more. People who maybe just scam $1 from you at the grocery store. Well, they're scammers who want to target your retirement savings. And I'll unpack this article in a bit, but just from my own intuition, for those who are senior, those who are older, those whose minds may not be as fast and as sharp as they were when they were younger, this happens. It's a real thing. It will happen to many of us. Our bodies age. You need to be careful. You may not be as sharp, as it were, as you were when you're 30s or 40s, and now you're 80 or 90. So a little different game for you, maybe. Number two, scamming in general. Be careful. You get that letter in the mail that says, scam the QR code here to get $1 million. Maybe that QR code's taking you to a nefarious website that is stealing your money. I just read something earlier. My wife sent it to me on IG. I've seen it before. Even parking meters. They say, hey, pay the parking meter here. Put a QR code, which just steals your money. Somebody calling you today and saying your name. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Smith, my name is Jenny. She has a lovely sounding Southern accent. And you just fall for her delightful drawl and start giving her a bit of your information. Maybe that's all she asked for is your last 4 digits of your Social Security number. And then she calls back, or somebody else calls back and gets the next 4. There's many ways that scamming can work. I was scammed once. Somebody asked me to go speak in a country. I gave them my speaking fee. They wired me a boatload of money and then say, wait, we made an accident. Can you please send that money back? But don't send it to us. Donate it to a charity in the USA. I didn't do it. I went to my bank, and my bank said, just wait for a few days, because then you know the money's fully yours. If I would have sent the money under like the 5 or 4 day window, I would have sent the money out. The scammers would have taken all the money they had sent me. They would have gotten the money, and I would have been scammed. So my point being, and the New York Times writes about this, be careful. For nearly 3 months, Barry A 76-year-old retired lawyer thought he was part of a government investigation that felt like something out of the movies. He was actually assisting criminals in stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars of his own money. Last fall, he spent about just every weekday doing the legwork and making withdrawals from his bank accounts as part of an intricate scam. He believed he was helping the Fed safeguard his money and catch the thieves who are after it. They kept telling me this is a big case, so we're going to stop a whole ring of people here. And it cost him all his retirement savings, $740,000. Very sad. The nature of these scams, says the New York Times, makes it nearly impossible to recover the money. Once the money's gone, it's gone. So one, be careful of the scam about a fake investigation. Logging into your retirement account, giving somebody else your password or username so they can log into it and they change it and you can't log into it again. Be careful. There is such things as fraud investigations, but you better be very careful that you know who you're talking to. Call your bank directly, the number that they have, to make sure that you're not dealing with a scammer, you're dealing with a legitimate person. Be careful. People asking you for donations to places that are scams. People asking you for your PIN numbers, credit card numbers, getting letters in the mail, people calling you with a sweet sounding voice, faxing you things, and you're falling for just a scam. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Hey, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, encouraging you to be careful because the last thing you want to do is have your hard-earned money taken by a scammer. Ding, 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 ding. Seth Godin always has interesting insights. One he's talking about is non-professional writers. I'm going to read here from what Seth Godin shares with us. He always gives amazing insight in his article and his email newsletter. You can find that at sethgodin.com. Nobody asks you to design a bridge, write a sonnet, or do open heart surgery. We leave these essential tasks to trained professionals. But many job descriptions carry the unstated addendum and write memos, proposals, and even instruction manuals. The local supermarket is reducing its hours for the summer. The sign they put on the door to announce this is 100 words long. The folks who manage the building where I work regularly send complicated and off-putting emails and texts to residents when simple and powerful language is just a few keystrokes away. There are two options. The first used to be the only one: get better at writing. You might not think you're a professional writer. You're a doctor, you're a manager, you're a teacher, says Seth. But if it's an important part of your job, you are a professional, or at least we expect you to be. Now there is a second option. If the writing you're doing doesn't need to be an idiosyncratic voice, take your memo, paste it into Claude.ai and say, please rewrite this to make it clear, cogent, positive, and concise. And now you can get back to work. Seth Godin is advocating, let's leverage the power of AI and the tools we have to do better at our jobs. You don't have to be necessarily the best at writing, because now, thanks to AI, you can do the best you can and ask AI to make it better. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Why reliable office workers rarely get ahead. Are you one of those people who are always staying late at the office, always coming early to the office, always saying, yes, 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 I'll do it in the office, always taking on more tasks, always trying to please a coworker, always trying to please a boss? That can be good and admirable. But my question to you, is it only sabotaging your health? Is it sabotaging your family relations? Should you not be doing it? Because what I'm reading here in the Wall Street Journal is that just because you're being that reliable workhorse, Rachel Feinzeg writes, working too hard can hurt your career trajectory, but there are other paths to office stardom. She asked, you work so hard, why aren't you getting ahead? You're working and working and working hard. But the workhorse trap says this: we want people to like us. We want to help out. When we say yes, the boss praises us or the colleague is grateful and it feels so good. Then we realize people pleasing isn't getting us anywhere. Maybe it's not getting you anywhere because they want to keep you in that position because you're so reliable, so others get promoted. Maybe they want to keep you there because, in essence, you think the productive work you're doing is what will get you ahead, when maybe that's not the measure of success. We increasingly are doing work behind the scenes as we log on from home and field requests from multiple managers. We're doing all the things behind the scenes, but maybe people don't even know who's doing it, and it may not matter as much as we think it does. More than half of those extra gigs come with no additional compensation. It's nice to get shouted out. It's nice to be eager to please. Yes. Stuck at the studio on a quiet Saturday or Sunday, she'd rally the small team present to help rehearse clips and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes maybe you don't have to do all the hard work, and hard work is good. But I wonder, doing all the hard work, does it really get you to where you want to go? Karen, happy day to you indeed, Karen Benson. So consider that the next time you're the workhorse, the little work bunny, the little work gerbil going, doing all the work, and that's good to do. To work hard is good. But if you're just doing it to get ahead, maybe it's not going to take you where you think you need to be. My name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Get to know me better at RamonRay.com. Having your next big event, looking for a motivational keynote speaker, looking for an event MC, let me help you. Check us out at RamonRay.com. See our flagship site, zoneofgenius.com. If you want to see all things small business, we're here to help you. Ding, 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 ding. The joy of being average, writes Business Insider. Our obsession with optimizing our lives is making us deeply unhappy. The writer Emily Stewart starts out by saying, a friend of mine recently started working a 4-day work week. Her job didn't implement it or anything. She just did it for herself. Her bosses didn't seem to notice. She gets her work done, and while said work may not be of the most stellar quality, it's sufficient. Maybe she'll catch the ambition bug again at some point, but for now, it feels good to coast. I'm going to read a little further here. The coasting, she admitted, often feels a little weird. The laws of capitalism say we have to constantly be on the move, work hard, play hard, consume hard, rinse and repeat. We're supposed to want to be the best, the smartest, the richest, and to hold those who have achieved such status in high regard. We seek to optimize at every turn. So my question for you is this: should we be optimizing our work to squeeze the most efficiency we can, Karen? Working hard on ourselves, yes. But I wonder, in the corporate America speak, are some of us working too hard, optimizing too hard, gunning too much? Is it okay for some of us just to be average? If work is 9 to 5, we show up at 8:55, we sit at our desk, we stand on the workshop floor, we do what we have to do. We don't do too much. We definitely don't do too little and cheat the company, but we're just being average. Is that okay? A quote here says, when there are lots of options, people think that the choice they make is a statement about who they are. The cultural pressure is reinforced by our economic system, which is organized in such a way that people aren't wrong to think they need to work endlessly to pay for housing, childcare, healthcare, retirement. You really do need to work hard and earn a lot to live in decent material conditions. So yes, you need to work hard enough for sure to get the things you need. But I wonder, is there a point where maybe we're working too hard? I don't know. The article continues, whether you like it or not, you are no longer just buying jeans. You are making a statement about your identity. And I think this is true almost across the board, said Schwartz. And social media, of course, exasperates the problem. We think we have to work harder and harder just to keep up with everybody else. This fixation on choosing the best can show up in big areas like picking where to live, but also in small ones like deciding where to eat. The rush to the top also creates wildly unequal societies where you have those who have a lot and those who don't. I don't know. This is not an easy question, but I think you do you, and understand that as you do you, you'll have to take the consequences of you doing what you wanted to do. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. We'll have an extended discussion on this in other forums, but the joy of being average. Shout out to the people who say, Ramon, I just want a job and I just want to be average. I'm not trying to excel and get ahead, because oftentimes I find the excelling to get ahead, maybe it's not because of money. Maybe it's just because the joy of running hard. I must say that's me. I get a joy out of running hard, doing the rundown with Ramon, waking up at 4:30 a.m., doing my workouts, doing push-ups, doing stretches, eating healthy. There's a mixture of things. Part of it is because I enjoy doing it. Part of it is because I know it will help me. And part of it, going back to the first one, really just I enjoy doing it. And everybody's different. It's something to think about on the rundown with Ramon today. Again, thanks for being here. And I'm curious what you think. Is it okay to be average? Does everybody have to be an A player and work extremely hard and be the best they can be? I don't know, but I'm curious what you think. Ding, 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 ding. Next up, the addiction economy. Interesting article from Every.2. Addicted, overwhelmed, oversubscribed, how technology hooked the world. A recent report, a paper, detailed the I don't even know this big word, deleterious impact of legalized gambling on consumers' financial health, the gamification of things, how consumer products across industries, TikTok, diet apps, investing platforms, and sports betting platforms have become increasingly addictive. Are we addicted in this world more than ever? I don't know if Laura Ingalls, back in the day of living outside in a tent and chopping wood rather, if that kind of living, they were addicted to chopping wood. I don't think so. They did it because they had to. They did it what they need to do. But today we have this addiction. We have these computer screens that we're always scrolling on. We want to learn something. It's gamification using an app like Duolingo. There's an addiction side that maybe it's not too healthy. Win money, have fun. It literally can't go wrong. A TV ad will scream. March Madness, NBA playoffs, it's all there in our face. And we love to be entertained. DraftKings looks for a 2 to 3 year payback period to keep gamification going and going and going. So gamification is fun. I get it. Charlie Munger, the late chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett's longtime business partner, said that even Robinhood was beneath contempt. Talking about Robinhood, the savings, app, which helps you save money. It's a gaming parlor masquerading as a respectable business. Food is gamification. DoorDash, your driver's on the way. Corporate communication, Slack, catching up. Emails galore. Why did this happen so fast? Well, digital goods are increasingly like those sold in those markets. All of the inputs of software are increasingly commoditized. This seems like something Seth Godin would talk about right about, and I'm on Every.2 because of Seth. So my question to us is, gamification is good. There's a human element to it. But my question, my point, my pushback to you today is, don't give way to the bots. Don't give way to the robots. Don't give way to the system, especially at the expense of your health, at the expense of your family, at the expense of your mental health. You can say a word that many of us don't like, but you can say no. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, bringing you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start to grow your business. And I hope you're enjoying the Rundown with Ramon, because I sure enjoy giving it to you. You can get to know me better at RamonRay.com. Check me out, motivational keynote speaker, hosting your next amazing event, or just check us out at zoneofgenius.com. Sign up for our email newsletter to get all this great content emailed to you on a regular basis. Ding, 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 ding. How to ask for what you really want. Jason Pfeiffer says this. If you're hearing the sound of Rundown with Ramon, do me a favor, tag Jason Pfeiffer on LinkedIn. Let him know I'm talking about him. Pfeiffer, F-E-I-F-E-R, Jason Pfeiffer, F-E-I-F-E-R. His email newsletter comes out one thing better. And Jason shares a story. I was in Chicago for a speaking engagement and I was running late. I ran down and asked the concierge, where's the quickest place to get like a egg and cheese sandwich? I need a fast breakfast. The guy answered him back, well, go downstairs and there's a place you can get a quick sandwich, or go around the store to the deli. So Jason went around and around and around, but finally he saw the hotel and it had an amazing breakfast buffet. So Jason was a bit perturbed and saying, why didn't the guy tell me there was a breakfast buffet right downstairs? Because Jason first said about the breakfast sandwich. So the point of today to ask is, to get what we want, are we asking the right question? He says we don't lead with what we need. When we ask for things, what are we really asking for. Here's what I think. We're often bundling two things together. The ask how we think we'll get what we want, and the goal, what we actually want. How do we really get what we want? And I'm going to say that again. The ask how we think we'll get what we want, and the goal, what we really want. It's amazing. I was watching a video about husbands and wives working together. Jason, thank you, Sherry Ann, for being here. And they said it's interesting how there was a wife in a car and the husband was driving and the car was low on gas. The husband thought that, hey, we can get to the next destination just fine. And probably he was right. The wife, that was a bit concerned that they couldn't get to the right destination. And she's learned, instead of saying, hey, we're not going to reach there, get gas, she rephrased it and was a bit more honest, saying, hey, I feel worried. I feel concerned we're not going to get where we're going. So do you mind filling a car with gas? And he did. So sometimes we say what we think people want to hear, but why don't we just more so say what we really, really want? In Jason Pfeiffer's case, do we want the fastest breakfast possible? Is that the goal? Then breakfast is right there. Or do we really want an avocado, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with a cup of strong Cafe Bustelo coffee, but quick? That's a different answer. My name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. I hope you're enjoying the Rundown with Ramon, because I sure enjoy producing it for you. Thanks for being here today. As I said, check me out at RamonRay.com, zoneofgenius.com. Let's get to our next tip of the day. Ding, 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 ding. How to defeat nosy questions. This is a quick one. I've learned this from my friend, Dr. Janie Lacey. And thank you, Sherry, for shouting out Jason Pfeiffer for me. Dr. Janie Lacey, one of the foremost psychotherapists in America. You can let Dr. Janie, Janie, I believe, or Janey. I always forget how to spell her name, Janie. Let me look it up right now. Lacey. Yes, Janey and Lacey. Dr. Janie Lacey, amazing psychotherapist. And Dr. Janie Lacey says as follows. One thing I learned from her and her show that she does on Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse, just asking people, one thing is, and why do you ask that? When you hear something a bit condescending, a bit down, ask them back, why do you ask that? To get a more fuller answer, and maybe let them unpack why they asked you that. But here's something the New York Times writes about: how to defeat nosy questions. A few things you can say. First, take a moment to tune into yourself to see if you want to answer that question, because maybe you don't want to answer the question. Two things you can respond. One, again, here we're talking about how you can get people to stop asking nosy questions. It's as simple as this, and this advice comes from the New York Times. I'd rather not talk about it. Full stop, no apology. That advice from Dr. Gunia. I'd rather not talk about it. Another thing you might want to do, if you want to do something a little more softer, is saying it firmly. Thanks for your concern. I appreciate it. I'm doing just fine. Most people will get the hint and move on. But you don't feel obligated to answer every question just because it's being asked of you. And again, shout out to my friend, Dr. Janie Lacey, America's favorite psychotherapist. She's on TV shows and more as well and talks about this. You don't have to answer a question just because somebody asks you the question. We'll do one more thing here. Again, thanks for listening to the Rundown with Ramon. Time management techniques that actually work. Time management is such an important part of our everyday life. How do we get more done in the day? One, use your calendar for to-dos. I know Google Calendar, I'm sure Microsoft also, not just calendar appointments where it's on the calendar, but to-dos, task lists that stay there until you check them as done. If it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. Keep a waiting for list, a list of things that are not due today, not due tomorrow, but that you're waiting for something to be done. Each morning, write down just 1 to 3 things you have to accomplish that day. Set up and fiercely protect regular, deep work time. These are ways you can get more done. Keep do not disturb mode on as long as you need to do it. Keep work asynchronous. One of the biggest unblocks in my productivity has been learning how to pivot a meeting request into an email conversation. The majority of the time, this becomes a 5-minute task versus a 30 to 60-minute meeting. Happy to help. Could we start async over email? What are you most looking for my input on? There's a thought. Everything doesn't have to be a quick call. Get a virtual assistant to take on low impact work. Say no more often, even when it's hard. If you're looking to get more done in your day, looking to reclaim your calendar, you don't have to say yes to everything that comes your way. And I'll end on this. Ding, 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 ding. More and more people are getting cool with ice packs. Not just any kind of ice packs, but new technologies are making what seem like science fiction possible as jobs keep people outside for longer periods of time. Ice plates fit neatly under body armor and also into vests that are now worn by workers in industries ranging from fast food to warehouses. The simplicity of some systems like this, which cool the body the same way ice cools a drink, is their greatest asset. Who oversees 29 locations of Dutch Bros office coffee chain in greater Phoenix area. It's science to it. When the body temperature rises, the brain sends signals to different parts of the body for cooling. The heart increases the heart rate of pumping blood, but blood vessels push blood near the skin surface where the heat can dissipate into the air. Sweat releases heat from the body when it evaporates. When humidity is high, sweat won't evaporate as quickly. Extreme heat then causes the heart to beat faster and the blood vessels to dilate, increasing the risk of strokes. That's how it works. So it looks like the more you can have something to pull heat away from the blood, the cooler your body will feel. And there's many inventions and things out there like that. Some are just simple vests that enable you to store ice packs or cooler ice things in it. Justin Lee, co-founder of the chief executive, found the Army's requirements interesting that he developed a device to provide 140 watts of cooling over 20 hours without adding any weight to the soldier's already considerable load. So then he had dinner with a friend, formerly of a Navy Special SEALs, Special Forces guy, and they had an idea to develop a system known as ice plates that uses a thin rectangular plastic plate with enough capacity to hold 50 ounces of frozen water shaped to fit the curves of the human body, and more things like that, using a variety of materials and gel packs, ice pack to keep people cool while they're outside. Listen, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray, and this is The Rundown with Ramon. I'm so glad you're here today. If you're enjoying this episode, do me a favor, check us out at zoneofgenius.com. Ask yourself to be clear on what you really want in life. Ask yourself, do you want to be in business? Ask yourself, are you hungry enough to get to where you need to be? What are your prices like, premium or cheap? And mindset is everything. My name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you've been here today. Thank you, Karen and Sherry and others who've been here on The Rundown with Ramon. Be blessed and have an amazing day. Until next time, see you in the next edition of The Rundown with Ramon.